Stop buying fastback 4x4s. You're just undoing the reason that you bought them, which is to have space.
Disassembling an engine, great. Putting it back together, no idea. Hello, welcome back to episode 4 of the C.R.E.A.M podcast, the Cars Rule Everything Around Me podcast. Now, first thing we do on this podcast is find out if cars rule or ruin everything around us. Edwin?
Yeah, it's ruin.
It's ruin?
It's absolutely ruin.
Why?
Because I still have had to deal with that Audi from a few weeks ago. I know everyone watching here, we're a few weeks behind, but just now we just finished the episode working on the Audi S3 on our YouTube channel, and it's still ruin. It was a harrowing experience, and I'm still not recovered from it because that car tomorrow, day after tomorrow, Thursday,
Soon.
has to go on the drag strip, and I have to rely on my working, and that's what I'm worried about.
It sort of felt like it was over, but it's not over.
It's not over.
Not over. But at least it's like...
The fat lady is yet to sung.
Whatever happens now happens.
If that car blows up coming off the trailer, oh well. I'll take the Cayenne down the drag strip. You know what? I'll put that now. If this happens to the thing, I'll take the Cayenne with the S3 on the trailer down the drag strip. I'll do it. I don't care if the S3 breaks. That's it.
Eject the S3 halfway down.
Please,
Jettison.
feel free to.
Shed some weight.
You're going to be going down the drag strip, watching out for rogue S3s on trailers coming towards your lane. And for you?
What am I? I am ruin.
Okay.
I'm building that engine on my Clio.
And
I found some damage in that engine.
So, funnily enough, Will, you're building a Clio 182 engine. I used to own a Clio 182 as well, so I'm in lots of the forums on Facebook and that sort of stuff. So, without Will speaking to me, I see his posts, and I opened my Facebook the other day and just saw a post that said, "Does anybody have a Clio 182 head for sale? Ideally, mostly complete." And I just saw it and went, "Oh no, what's happened?"
See, it's not, well, it's bad because my car is smoking. My current engine is smoking, so I thought, you know what, I'll buy an engine. I've never done that before. And it shows because disassembling an engine, great. Putting it back together, no idea.
Could you please tell them about when you came in the other day and said, "I took the head off. Don't know why, no, can't do it now."
Yeah, I don't know why. I said to myself, do not take the head off. You don't need to. It's a low mile engine. There's no reason to take the head off. And just at the weekend, I was looking at it and I had all the other bits off, all the ancillaries, all the belts were off, and I was like, I'm going to take the head off. And it was, I cracked the first head bolt, which I've never done before. And I was like, well, I have to now.
While you're in there.
So I did them all. I took them all off. And I found out there's actually an order for cracking those off. Didn't do that.
That's all right.
Sort of did it round and round.
That's what Big Head wants you to believe, so that you'll buy more head bolts.
Don't give in to the man. But that's where I'm at, because I need to buy a head. And also, there was a head I found, a head as in top of the engine.
Why do you need a head?
Because I opened mine and there was a damage. One of the camshafts has picked up a piece of metal and then welded a groove into the engine cover and into the head. It's probably fine. But I just don't like it.
Also, you're building this engine. It's your first engine you're building. You might as well do it properly.
Yeah.
You might as well break it properly.
Yeah. But also, I have actually bought a head.
Okay, you've got one.
I have bought a head. There was a head for sale for £300. It didn't sell.
I hope nobody's clicked onto this podcast at this point who doesn't know about cars. Hey, yo, what's going on?
There's a head for sale? Cannibals? Where?
Put me in, coach.
There was a head for sale for £300 and it was brand new, potted, polished. Everything was built, ready to go. I was like, that's not bad. 300 quid. It's worth more than that in bits. But it didn't sell twice. So I sent a message on eBay. I said, I'll give you 200 quid. He said, no, I'm right. I was like, all right, fine. I'll give you 250. I'll come and collect it, 250. He said, no, it's all right. I'll just go and collect it. I'll go and build it into another engine. So I paid him 300 quid.
I mean, he kind of won. He played the game and he won.
Did won. Normally, I feel like I'm pretty good at that. But he was so stubborn.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't give in. So I was like, okay, I'll collect it.
I love that when you play the game where you're like, listen, I can find another one. I'll go get another one. They're like, okay, do it. And you go, I want that one though. So,
that's exactly what it is, because it was all built and fresh and new. I was looking at other ones for sale for 250 and they were all manky looking. So I went, I could do 300 quid.
You know what? I've rethought it.
Sure, that's actually a great deal.
I thought to myself, I'll pay you.
So mainly ruined because I didn't expect, basically my engine cost 300 quid and I just had to double it for
and give it to the next person or just...
I wish.
Yeah.
I might.
Ben, mate.
Also, I'm not even at the hardest part of that thing yet.
No.
I need to take an engine out and put it in.
Yeah.
That'd be easy.
It'd be fine.
Yeah, that'd be easy.
And you'll see that on the second Top Dead Centre channel, 2 Dead Centre.
Yeah.
And speaking of changes and things, we've upgraded the set a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we thought, we've got PS2 laying around. We've got a neon from our ex-show car laying around. Let's turn it into something cool. Also, Will made a very good point. It looked like the first few episodes, we're just sitting on a sofa looking forward, not at each other.
Yeah.
So
we can have more of a conversation now.
Yeah. I hate you. Yeah. What?
Whereas when you're sat next to each other, they go, hello, mate. It's like having a chat with someone on the tube.
On the tube, yeah. Which
you wouldn't do.
No.
Hello, mate.
Because England.
Yeah.
So that's the new settings for C.R.E.A.M. If you're listening, it's the same for you. You can just still hear us.
You sound different.
You guys sound like you're talking to each other.
Yes, you sound better.
What have we got first, though?
Some channel updates, perhaps? S3 you've already updated on.
Yep.
You might want to sell that.
Yes.
Are there buyers?
Maybe.
What would you sell it for?
Look, I'll be completely honest. You're not going to get much out of me on the S3 because I just don't care.
Right.
If someone gave me £1, you can have it. But Will won't let that happen.
Redacted.
So I don't know what, $2,000? We can have it cheap.
Yeah. Make us an offer. We have an Audi S3 that was bodged by a mechanic and has now been bodged in a better fashion by Edwin and Josh and some other.
But also, by the time this podcast comes out, the ending of that series will have happened. So it might be blown up. So we might be selling a broken car. So
no.
Still, the offer is $2,000 firm.
Yeah, you have to buy it as it stands right now. You have to buy it.
So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. We're also getting the Zafira in later.
Oh,
That's going to start. We're going to start the build on the Zafira.
That's been sat for a long time.
Ben, I don't know if you can see it on the shot, but there's an £80 huge turbo and £80 British.
Yeah.
It's like $100 for a huge turbo.
When we got our S3 and the 335 mapped, we always use TRS Performance just because they're good to us and they get us in at short notice and they're very good at what they do. But I teed up the Zafira. To be fair, we teed up the Zafira months ago.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Because we've already taken it there. We put it on a dyno and they hated it because it was broken and it couldn't make any power. So they just stuck some pops and bangs on it, which was great. Which was great through Europe for me. So I said, we're gonna do this properly this time. We've got Chinese turbo. They're like,
for God's sake.
I said, yeah, just bring it in. So yeah.
So maybe you might, that might be imminent.
We're aiming for double and more. Double, toil and trouble for that car.
450, 500 would be lovely.
Couple other little
Sousons.
Je ne sais pas. Sorry for French people for just making up a phrase.
As the French say, a certain I don't know what. So yeah, those are basically all we got at the moment. Also, my engine, which is I'm yet to even pick up. That might be out yet. I have a potential X-Race engine that is a genuine mystery to me. I just got a DM from a guy saying, do you want a mystery engine that has got some issue with it for cheap? I was like, absolutely.
Most people? No.
Yeah, me? Yeah. So that's going to go in my white E36 saloon because I want to turn that into a bit of a track car. And then also the Porsche gearbox. I have one guy who's selling me one. And then another guy, just as I was about to buy the gearbox, messaged me and said, wait, I'll build your gearbox. So I'm just in the middle of speaking to him and talking out whether we do the original gearbox and what his charge would be for that, or whether I go for a used gearbox. But the Porsche is now balls rolling. It's going.
Buy the spare as well, just in case.
I don't have money. So.
You've got a queue of gearboxes lined up.
I don't want to spend any more money on that car. It's already a lot of money.
Quick update as well. We sold 2 cars.
We did.
Shock horror. Well,
this is crazy
when
for
we
us.
say we.
Yeah, to Taylor.
We gave it to Taylor. Taylor, if you don't know Taylor's the man for selling cars in this area. Around these parts. He's the selling and buying cars man. So we didn't really want to sell the Range Rover because it's quite long to do that. So we gave it to him and he sold it. We made a loss.
We made a big loss on that. That's a big loss. That was £1,800?
£1,800.
Hard, tough to see.
It was $4,000.
It was $4,000. Yeah.
But
But
we have cancelled that out by selling our FTO. We bought a Max Power style, mad-looking Mitsubishi FTO. Very rusty underneath, but we modified it. We fixed, well, we didn't get it back on the road because it's not really worth it, but we fixed up the mods, the flame kit, the subwoofers, the sound, all of that bit. We got that done. It's got Lambo doors. We bought that for $1,000 on eBay. Yeah. We've just sold that, or Taylor has just sold that for £2,500.
And whoever bought it, we'll be in contact with whoever bought it. We're going to stay close to that car. You know, we mentioned previously that we might have a TDC show at some point. Maybe it's next year summer. Maybe it's
that has to be there.
Maybe it's July next year. Who knows?
If you kill that car before we have a show,
but that show,
shame on you.
FTO is there. That's not negotiable.
No.
The FTO's there.
At least a couple DVDs.
Couple DVDs. But there'll be some DVDs in there as well.
Yeah, there will be.
The FTO better be. You know what? We don't need to hire a sound system. The show.
Say that.
We just park the FTO up.
Yeah.
Plug an aux cord into it.
It's also a mystery, that car. When we were revving it here, it lost an
aux belt with the alternator.
Aux belt, so that what powers the alternator. So it should die fairly quickly.
That happened when we were doing the flame kit, and after that, we then drove the car around for a day or two, like just around the unit, not far, but to polish it in and out. We drove it around the back. We drove it onto the trailer. We then took it to the show and had it running all day with the DVDs in there, with no aux belt, and then drove it back here, and it's moved around for a month or two. Just got a ghost. And
that's on the original. It's like it's a leisure battery, but it's from about 10 years ago. We've charged it up and reconditioned it, but it's still an old battery.
We might have accidentally sold perpetual motion. We might have accidentally solved it, but then sold it to someone for $2.5 grand.
Or it's cursed.
That's also potential.
It's got. We were looking for Tina.
Tina's there.
She's in there.
Yeah, the ghost of Tina.
She's trying to let me out.
Yeah, that wasn't a belt screeching. So those are our channel cars from our YouTube channel, Top Dead Center. What else we got next? We got news.
We do have some news.
Yeah,
there is news. So McLaren W1 was revealed
a few weeks ago now for you. We are a few weeks behind because it was just announced for us.
But we're talking about it anyway because we've got the best
insight
knowledge in the game on this kind. We don't.
No,
but still, it's an interesting car. It's like that is the third Halo car McLaren have ever made.
Yep.
I don't like the name.
No, but also I was thinking about this. What would be better?
I was thinking, when they said it has to have a 1 in it, I was thinking they would just call it one. But the word one.
The one show.
A little bit like LaFerrari.
Yeah.
It's the McLaren 1, and they make it like the ultimate thing.
But it's English, so it would be McLaren, the McLaren.
The McLaren.
To McLaren.
To McLaren. But it's cool, but I think they've missed something there.
I said this to you earlier in the week. I think I'm past. It's not for me anymore. It's childhood me. I think maybe if I was young now, maybe I'd like it. I don't know if that's but I was young enough when the P1 came out that I was like, that's amazing. Whereas now I'm like,
I think it's part of that Holy Trinity was interesting. You had that car, which was like the first of like proper, really, really fast hybrid hypercar stuff. There was the 918, which was kind of similar, but also had an NA V8 high revving. Then you had the LaFerrari, which had a big V12. They all kind of had their own thing.
Yeah.
Whereas now there's this new, potentially going to be this new Holy Trinity. That McLaren is similar. Well, they say it's a new V8, but it's a 4-litre twin.
It's the McLaren V8.
Yeah, it's going to be higher revving, more power, but whatever. And then the new Ferrari thing is going to likely be a V6.
Is it going to be V6?
Yeah. F250, I think that's what they're calling it at the moment.
It's a Ford. It's a pickup truck.
It's an FD.
That's
Super
crazy.
GT.
Ferrari's now selling pickup trucks.
To Julie. But it looks, some of the, you see the
renders
and like it driving around Marino. It looks interesting, but it's got V6.
Enzo
Ferrari is going to be punching holes in the ground right now. V6 in your, he probably wouldn't.
In your Halo.
He
really doesn't care. That he famously said.
Also,
road cars are only there so that I can go racing.
And also, that car they have done well in racing, and they're taking the engine that's going to go in that out of the racing car.
Yeah, there you go.
So Enzo Ferrari,
he's probably on board with it.
Yeah,
but I don't know what it is. I'm going to say it. There hasn't been a Ferrari of the last 10 probably years that has made me feel anything.
Yeah, no.
Even 812s, I don't know.
No, the 812,
they're cool.
The competizione.
But I don't know what it is. There's just something that I
don't like all the twin turbo V8 ones. They're all slightly soulless to me.
F8 Tributo to me is the last Ferrari that I've looked at and gone, that's an aspirational thing to me. I don't know what it is. Something about it is kind of classically Ferrari. I think it's the 4 lights at the back.
Yeah.
When Ferrari went to 2 rear lights at the back, the F12 and stuff, can't endorse.
Yeah.
458.
One of the things I think McLaren have missed on this, I was talking to my dad about this. He reckoned that they were going to come out with, like how we've got the Gordon Murray, the GMA with the big V12, and you've got the Valkyrie with the big V12, because I think that's what these rich, that's what they want.
Yeah, no, they
don't really want a hybrid thing.
No, they don't care about tech.
Yeah, they
want shouty.
And also, because you can buy a Rimac with 2,000 horsepower, you can buy an Evija with 2,000 horsepower that's electric. If you want to go fast, like really, really fast, in a straight line from a dig, whatever, you're probably going to just have to go electric.
Yeah.
So why don't they make these big, expensive hypercar supercars
be more
entertaining? They are more about the soul of it. It's about the engine and the way it looks. I was talking to my dad about this. He reckons they should have put did you see the McLaren Solus?
Yes.
Had the V10, the crazy, Judd V10. If they'd put a Judd V10 in a limited run, central driving position, made it look wild, I think that would have done well.
Well, the thing I always come back to, and it's more because of when we grew up, but the period in the early to mid 2000s to the late 2000s, the reason I think is important is because in my head that's when I was young, but also objectively when you look at it, they made the coolest cars. Porsche, who up until then had a 996, as a now owner of a 996, the most boring 911 generation. It wasn't that good. And then they went, yeah, cool, by the way, we just developed a V10 and put it in a convertible supercar, hypercar.
It was a racing engine.
Yeah.
Right?
And then Ferrari went, yo, we've made an Enzo.
Yeah.
And then Pagani went, hey man, we've got a new car. It's this ridiculous thing. They're all so crazy at the time, even at the time.
Yeah.
Like BMW's putting a V10 in a saloon car, and yet the supercars were crazy.
Twin turbo V10 in an Audi estate.
Yeah. Whereas now I almost think even that McLaren is not crazy enough. But they've tried to go crazy in design, be like, whoa, look at all of the holes in the door and stuff, and then gone, same engine as normal.
Yeah. It is a new engine.
Of course, but it's still like it's not that different from McLaren's. And I get it also, there's regulations now.
It does rev to like 9,200 though.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But also that new Lamborghini does as well. That revs to like 10.
Yeah.
Have you heard it?
Yes.
I'm sure it'll be cool, but there's something missing. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's because I'm not a child, like you said. But I do think that, you're right.
There's something.
They're not better cars, like from 20 years ago. They're not better. Like the new ones, they'll be more reliable. They'll be faster.
Yeah.
Go around corners better. The technology is better. Everything, whatever. The only thing that you can kind of argue about is design, because design doesn't necessarily get better through time. You'd look back at cars from the 60s that they're prettier.
Yeah.
I think the P1 is prettier than the W1.
Oh,
by
absolutely.
a long way. I think the P1 is one of the prettiest cars of all time.
I wouldn't. So for me, I distinguish prettiest and coolest. Prettiest to me goes down the line of it's like E-types, 250 GTs, Californians, that sort of stuff.
I don't think it's far off that because it's smooth.
But I think it is by far one of the coolest for me. It is so there isn't a single thing on a P1 that I'd change. And the way they sit as well when they go into their hunkered down mode.
Yeah.
Oh,
whether it's wing up, wing down, they look.
You know what it is? It's almost like someone at McLaren was sitting on the Stance Works forum in 2010 going, get 5 mil space from that and push that out, bit of camber.
Yeah,
I like the fitment on that.
But the P1's cool.
They knew.
Yeah. So W1, maybe in like 10, 15 years, Tavares might buy one.
Yeah.
If it gets washed away. Or we may, I don't know, see if things go well, we might pick up a W1 for.
There's something for the comments. If you have kids, maybe ask them, is a W1 the most exciting thing in the world to you? Because we were saying before, were you saying about your dad, that your granddad looks at a Miura as like, whoa, but he doesn't care about like a Countach as much or something like that.
Oh, so
or a Diablo.
I remember I went to a car show with my dad and there was a Miura. I love a Miura. I think a Miura, again, is one of the prettiest cars ever. The Miura just looks unbelievable to me. I was walking around with my dad and he was like, it's just not my era. Countach, one of the coolest things ever. Countach, like Di Tommaso, that kind of era of supercar is like poster car for him.
Yeah. So same with my dad. My dad is not into, he doesn't care for Lamborghinis at all. He's not a fan. But if a Countach comes past, I see him go, ooh. Like there's a part of you that when you're growing up, whatever that thing is, and the Murcielago is kind of like that for us. For me, I think the actual car, and I've never been into Ferraris, an Enzo is the car.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, an Enzo was the be all and end. It was the N20 argument. I would have a Ferrari. Yeah, well, I'd have an Enzo. And then it's like, oh, damn it. Okay, he's beat me there. There's nothing more. And I think it was maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I was leaving Brooklands and I've never seen one. You never see an Enzo you see them in the flesh maybe at a show. You never see them on the move.
No, I think I've seen one on the street and that's it.
Yeah, I was driving a car back and coming the other way was just an Enzo going down the street and I genuinely turned into a child. I went, it's an Enzo. And I went to turn around at the next roundabout to try and follow it just so I could see it.
Yeah.
But I think that's a generational thing. So if you have maybe a niece or a nephew, ask them, is the McLaren, compare the W1 to the P1. Are they more excited for that than they are that? On
the Countach design, I think I told you this before, but I was like 10. I used to do lots of car spotting stuff when I was a kid. I was early YouTube.
Sorry, can we get a shout out to Project Fast Cars?
Project Fast Cars. If anyone remembers that channel, you won't. I had about 80 subscribers, but over 1 million views, over millions of videos probably. But anyway, I used to do like car spotting stuff, me and a mate. And then once he went on holiday with his parents to Bognor Regis for some reason. And then he messaged me. This is like early text message and photo messaging, and said, "I've just seen a Koenigsegg and a Countach." I was like, nah, he's lying. Because also, like, there wasn't really any social media stuff. Or like, so you didn't, if you saw this stuff, it was big.
Yeah.
Like, if you saw it on the road, that was huge. And he told me, I was like, nah, it's just no way. I didn't see it. And he sent me a picture of him sitting in them. And I wanted to cry. I remember I went to my mum. I was like, Robbie saw a Countach today and he got to sit in it. And my mum said, "Oh, I saw one of those today." I was like, nah, she didn't. She saw an MR2.
Yeah.
She saw an MR2. It was a Ferrari. I don't know.
Fiero.
It wasn't. She said, "No, it's just down the road." I was like, it's just not true. She took me in the car, drove down the road. It's Countach.
Really?
It's just the most recognizable design. Obviously, my mum is also probably of the era where Countach would have been a big thing, but just recognizable.
Yeah.
But I was stunned. I was like, "There's no way." Just it was like the sort of bluey, dark purpley color.
Yeah.
With like the anniversary kit and everything.
Oh.
Just sat at the side of the road. It looks like something that's been beamed down from another planet. Even now, next to anything else. But yeah, that's just one of the best designs.
I've got a very similar story. When I was, I think maybe it would have been whenever the Gallardo came out. So that would have been 2004, 5. And I remember my dad going, "Come jump in the car." 2 minutes down the road from our house and it was like a new build, almost like council estate, like Newbury. Parts of Newbury are quite rough.
Yeah.
And it was in kind of one of the rougher parts. And it was just sitting on a drive. Is it Gallo Orion?
I think so, yeah.
The
like
yellow.
Triple layer, yeah.
Imagine a first-gen Gallardo. And it was just sitting on a driveway. And he didn't say anything. He said, "Just jump in. I'll show you something." He pulled up. And I've never been... I was stunned. I was like, this exists in Top Gear only.
Yeah.
Top Gear and in Most Wanted. And I just looked around it for maybe like 10 minutes, just going...
I used to hang around outside people's houses with cool cars. Again, also,
with a balaclava.
I have a video of this on YouTube. I've probably made it private because I'm embarrassed by it. Again, me and my mate, he messaged me. He said, "Oh, there's a Gallardo down near this park." And again, it's like a nice area, but not that nice. It's not Gallardo nice.
No, yeah.
The guy also had a Hartger kit E46 M3, which was quite popular.
Yeah, back in the day.
And he was like, "Right, when we get home, we'll go and ride over to it." It's about a 20-minute ride. Rode over there, Gallardo. Also, any loud exhaust, I said it's a Tubey.
Yeah.
It's a Tubey exhaust. Because the internet said Tubey exhaust. And I was like, it's a Tubey exhaust. And he came out and I was like, I don't want to look like I'm prying. What was. And he let us sit
Video camera in hand.
And he let my mate start it. I was so embarrassed. So embarrassed. So I can't have the word.
Jealous?
Jealous.
Yeah.
I was jealous. But I saw my YouTube channel, Project Fast Cars. You won't find that anymore because it's dead. I know it still exists, but I've hidden everything.
The funny thing is, was it on Project Fast Cars or was it on your channel that you posted?
That would have been that one. Yeah.
No, but your Alpha.
The Brera one. Yeah.
So we found this out years and years later. If you like us, you're probably not like us where you're so hopelessly obsessed with cars that your whole life revolves around it. But unfortunately we are. Will and I were talking in the office when we kind of first met, a year or two maybe into when we were working together. And I said, there's a really cool video of a Brera exhaust. Because we were talking about Breras. Will obviously had an Alpha Brera. And I said, let me go and see if I can find the exhaust. I remember it's a video from years ago. I clicked on it and went, here it is. And Will went, that's my video. That's my car. So I had watched, for some reason, never had any intention of owning a Brera, but I'd watched a video on one of Will revving his car at the side of a road.
Yeah. I remember, I think that video, it didn't do well, but it was like 12,000 views. I was stunned by that.
And I was one of them, probably sitting in South Africa being like, oh, look at this Alpha Brera.
I remember all the abuse I used to get in the comments on those videos because I'm filming it on like a Nokia something.
Yeah.
And I'm also, some of them are 3-second clips. But even then, when video clips were shorter, you get people going, come on, mate, you filming on potato there or what? I want to say, I'm 10.
Yeah.
I'm 10. I'm just riding out on my bike. Oh, man. I have so many stories from those.
Well, I have to save, so we have to go back through them. But so, yeah, we were early days of YouTube.
Yeah.
We were in there.
I'm in there. We're in there.
Bit of a tangent from McLaren W1. But anyway.
Big tangent. Couple more bits of news that aren't really news, but are kind of news. Chris Harris has put corduroy in his car.
So yesterday, when we pulled up, I was, who are we talking with this outside? Was it Taylor?
Possibly.
And I said, I know for a fact Will hates this. Because if you haven't seen, Chris Harris has a M5 V10 generation, 2010s odd, a wagon, it's only 61, a bit rarer. It's not Calypso red, but it's the kind of deep burgundy-ish red. And he's had the interior retrimmed in red corduroy. And whoever I was speaking to, I said, I like it. I think it's cool. And then I said, I know Will hates it. And Will went, the corduroy interior? Worst thing in the world.
Now, I've had another look. Yeah.
We'll
certainly
have a look.
I think it's interesting. I think my biggest gripe with it is that it's the color combination. Now, as from Chris Harris,
agreed.
I think he should know better. Red, because it's not red on. It's like an orangey red. It's
black
like
on red.
If it was black on red, or the car was white, or the car was some bigger contrast, but there's I don't know. Maybe he has plans to change that. But if he thinks that's nice, Chris, fair enough. I think he said on Instagram, I don't care if you criticize it. I'm not criticizing it. I just don't like it.
You're just criticizing it. No, I
think it could work. It's interesting.
I've always liked, so I like Alpinas in the 80s, 70s, 80s, there was an option that you could get a corduroy, which I assume is what kind of inspired him, because I know he likes old Alpinas, like E28s. I think there was a corduroy option you could get, and you can get it in the dark blue or the Alpina green. And that, I think that on like a black car or a dark green car, I'm on board with that.
He also said, I think he posted this on Instagram when he posted the reaction to it, basically. He basically said he wanted to replace the fake leather. M5 has fake leather.
Does it?
Apparently. I did learn this on lots of cars. The leather isn't real. It's like I don't know how you say. I was going to say acrylic.
Synthetic?
Synthetic is a better word. But synthetic, so it's not like
with Napa
Clio trophy seats. It says like leather side bolsters. It's not.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, that's like a vinyl,
vinyl.
Yeah,
acrylic.
But I would assume on all base E60s, I think Napa is leather.
Yeah, but he's saying fake.
Oh, interesting. Maybe it is.
Chris, if you're watching, you're not.
Chris, jump on the sofa. Talk about corduroy.
Cows, if you're out there, let us know. Are you?
What are you made of?
Yeah.
And I'm not an army drill instructor.
Vinyl cows are they out there? Corduroy cows.
Corduroy, mate.
Corduroy. Corduroy.
I like it. I'm on board with it.
I would like to see it in a better application. Do you know what? I bet it's comfy, and I bet it's warm, and I bet it's grippy.
Whoa.
Anyway, Mark Zuckerberg, is that his name?
Yes, Facebook man.
He has a Cayenne that he has extended and put a sliding door on.
Yeah, I don't understand.
This crazy lizard man has made a nasty lizard car.
Hey, he's going to take the video down. Watch out. I know, this is on YouTube and Spotify. Don't worry.
There's no power here.
You know what? The thing, that's not the thing I took away from that article, because if you haven't seen it, so it's Mark Zuckerberg with, I think, his wife or his partner, whoever he's with.
Android.
Has a Cayenne stretched. And then next to it, I think it's a Touring. It's a 991 GT3 Touring.
I missed that.
But they're both together. Ben, I'm seeing Ben behind the camera. You chip
Hello.
Was it a Touring?
Yeah, so it's a 992.
It's a 992.
992, but it's a manual Touring GT3, and then it's a Cayenne Turbo GT. So
it's the coupe. Firstly,
but long.
Yeah,
but it's the really powerful one. It's like the quick boy.
Okay,
it's made long.
But so first things first, Cayenne coupe, wrong. Just wrong. Stop buying fastback 4x4s. You're just undoing the reason that you bought them, which is to have space. First issue. Second issue, it's just boring. You see the colours? It's that crayon grey colour. Have some imagination.
Please choose black.
Yeah. What? But black still has something interesting. There's an edge to black. Grey is so, and I used to like Nardo Grey. When the TTs first came out in Nardo Grey, I was like, kind of a cool, interesting colour. And now everything is the same. It's so unflattering to any angle or curve of the car. It just makes it looks like a game that hasn't rendered well. It's just
Everything's
But that's my takeaway, was it that you're a boring man. Imagine a minivan Cayenne.
I saw a video of him the other day, and he had like a perm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was like, what's going on here?
I think he was like, I'm getting a lot of stick for this lizard thing because I look like a lizard. And he went, you know what? Let's get some hair going, boys.
You know what? I might be 18.
Yeah. I think he's trying to change the image.
I couldn't believe it. I was like,
what are the kids like? 911 Touring? I'll buy one.
Good. Cayenne, make it longer. Give me a perm, too. Crazy. Anyway, that's enough.
He said it looks like a minivan. Right, it's meant to be a minivan, but it looks like a limo. Why is it so...
why does he need that? He gets driven around, surely.
How many kids does he have? If he has less than 8 kids...
Oh, how long are they? Why does it need to be long?
They've just got really long legs. Also...
He's a lizard. What? lizard along.
There you go.
He's got to lie down in
also,
the back.
just buy Zafira, mate.
No, exactly. 7 seats.
7 seats.
Clown.
Get the kids in there. Ben's on Jamie. Jamie, pull it up.
I don't think he has any kids.
What's going on then? That's crazy. That's
Wait,
Check his hard drive.
Check his hard drive.
Check his Facebook account.
Oh, wait, I know they have 3 daughters.
That's allowed. Fine. Okay,
3
fine.
daughters.
But that's just the back of any normal car. That's back of a normal car.
Yeah, exactly.
3 seats, so they go in there. But also, he had. I remember. I don't know why I remember this from Car Throttle days of when I was writing listicles. He used to have just a Mark 7 GTI, but like the base spec.
That's so Zuckerberg.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
There's no.
What's interesting? You know what? I have a Golf. It's a GTI version.
Yeah. Ooh, spicy.
And then he had 3 kids and thought, I'm going to make a sliding door Cayenne limo.
I appreciate and I assume it was done by maybe West Coast Customs.
Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah.
Actually.
Well, I assume so. Anytime there's something like that, it's usually them that do a project like
Not
that.
some random coach building company.
Yeah. So I appreciate it being like, let's try it.
Yeah.
But do something more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just not that.
Just do something else.
Make it pink or blue. Make it Facebook colours. Sell it on Facebook Marketplace.
Make it a Facebook car.
But you wouldn't sell it on Facebook
Yeah, you wouldn't say it. I'm going to lowball the shit out of Mark Zuckerberg.
Has never sold anything on Facebook Marketplace.
Mark Zuckerberg has never opened Facebook Marketplace.
He doesn't know what it is.
He wouldn't last a day in these shoes. He'd get in there. Imagine, first moment, what we take when you're around.
Is this still available?
Is it available? Bye. Disappears. He'd be like, what's going on in here? I have to shut this down.
Guys, this place is a hellhole.
Up for 10 grand? I'll give you 2. Come today. I'll give you 2. Mark, mate.
Mark, PS2, you can have that if you want.
What's your best price?
You know, at Cayenne, I'll swap you a 240,000 mile Cayenne V8.
Actual best car.
So that is roughly, that's all the news.
That's all the news
that's all the news that's happened.
Great.
Apart from the fact that this is 2 weeks later. So
apologies.
More news has happened. Go and read that. We'll talk about it in a couple of weeks.
See you in a few weeks.
Want of the week.
Yes, this is if you are as afflicted as us, you will, throughout every day, it will change. You will find a new car that you want and you wish to buy. And if you had the funds, you probably would go and buy it, but you don't. So you simply just scroll on eBay and lowball people a third of the price, hoping that they'll say yes. And they change so often for us that we thought we'll do a want of the week, the things that we've been wanting this week. It's also going to be a great thing to look back on because every single week, the theme, I bet you there will never be a through line of like, oh, he always wanted a coupe manual thing. One day it'll be like, I want a Hummer H1. And the next day it'll be like, I want another micro car. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So, Will?
I would like, I have my X5 as a daily. It's great, but it's getting boring. Right. The novelty is worn off. We're 6 months in, time to go.
6 months. Also, 6 months in for Will. That is crazy.
He's
Will is
well.
a 2 to 3 month max on any car.
He's done well.
Yeah, he's put in a good innings.
But I think he needs to go. And I've been looking at Range Rovers.
Here we go.
It's not
Bro chose pain.
Good, but the thing is, I want a facelift Range Rover, which is like 2010 onwards, where they all get a bit more modern, but they're quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
And then there's Range Rover Sport, which is okay, which I think is basically a Discovery underneath, or vice versa. But I want a big one. They're also
very small inside the Sports.
Are they?
Yeah. I always found that. I always thought they were just very
bigger than an X5, though.
Yes.
And also, they won't drive. They will waft well, but they won't, because the big Range Rover, you go around a corner, they're not the best.
Yeah, but are you doing that?
Yeah, but you do. There is since I've been driving the X5, I have noticed compared to the Range Rover, it is nicer to be able to go around a corner slightly quicker, knowing that you're not in a blancmange.
See, but I just never do that. If I'm in something soft, the guy's getting driven softly.
Yeah, but I'm not actually driving the X5 hard. It just feels more like a car.
Yeah, that's true. I can hear that. That's fair.
Whereas the Range Rover, it's just even little inputs, and it's nicer around.
Wait, hold on. You want it to be soft?
Softer.
Okay, sorry.
Softer.
I thought you were saying the other way around. I thought you weren't. That's why you wanted a Sport over a Range Rover. Sorry.
No. I'm saying the Range Rover, that the Sport is like, it's almost like
the middle
connection between worlds.
Yeah.
Whereas he's the hand through the void between the big Range Rover and something like an X5.
No, agreed. Yeah, an X5 just drives like a car.
A Range Rover's like, I'll be soft.
He is,
but I'm sporty.
Yeah, but I'm not.
It's in my name. I will be sporty.
So when I was growing up, my friend's dad, it was a huge thing. He got one of the first Range Rover Sports in the country, and it was the orange, like that burnt orange color that you saw all the beginning ones in. And my dad he liked buying old used Range Rovers, like cheap Range Rovers, the cheapest ones he could find. And 5-year-old me was like, I got in this guy's, so proud of this. It's one of the first sports in the country. I kind of went, it's really small in here. Why is it so small? It's not soft. It's not as comfortable. And this guy's dad being like, the hell? You just get in my car and roasting it instantly. That's I have a vivid memory of first gen sports. But they're cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah, they're cool, but it's just not a big one. But anyway,
so Range Rover Sport.
We'll see. And the other one is a manual Gallardo, but specific.
They're very linked. You know, these are two similar cars.
I'm going for a footballer's garage from 2005.
Yeah, I'm thinking either the Range Rover Sport or the Gallardo. I'm not sure what I'm gonna have.
But specifically, I've always kind of like the Gen 1 to me is, again, it's probably because it's the one I grew up with. The Gen 2, where they facelifted it and looks a bit more modern, also is a different engine.
But I was about to say, if you don't know, the first generation Gallardos, that first gen engine is a Lamborghini engine.
Yeah.
They built that V10. It actually is kind of derived from a concept they did in the 90s called the Carla. So it's not an Audi engine. They went, we're going to make a V10, which is why it has that noise.
Even firing?
Yeah, that's it.
Like an LFA, whereas the other one is
odd firing, that's related to the Audi R8 V10.
Yeah.
Which
they don't sound bad.
No, they don't sound bad. But there's the 5 litre. Go onto YouTube and listen to the difference between a 5 litre and a 5.2. 5 litre has this
5 litre
intangible Italian. Don't want to use the word soul, but
it is soul.
It is. There's some. It sounds upset with life. It's like
great.
It hates that it's alive.
It has more. It's got more to it. Like there's more on the overrun. There's more of a noise. There's more like when it downshifts. There's more of a noise. It's just whereas the other one, not bad. All V10s sound good. Most V10s sound good. But I just think that 5 litre possibly the best one.
Agreed.
Well, you know,
and the prices now.
That's what's worrying
in the UK. I don't know if maybe in abroad they might be a bit different. But in the UK, what did that SE sell for?
I saw it was a Gallardo SE, which is the one. It's got like black roof, black mirrors, and like color coded interior bits. And slightly more power. That sold for 55, and that was like
that's a special edition. With
special edition, it had a
nice exhaust,
a Brook Racing Inconel exhaust, which is cool.
That's like a 5-10 grand exhaust.
Yeah, and
what was the one that sold on Collecting Cars? It was a 40
something.
Crazy.
And there's been some super rough ones, auctions for like 30s, 40s. And again, like if you're getting into a 30 or 40 grand Gallardo,
you're in for pain.
You're going to be in trouble. Also, I hear that the 5 litre engine is considerably less reliable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Monsieur JM on cars, I think he had one very briefly,
and
he
got rid of it.
Yeah, I think he did a video with Ricky at RE Performance talking about the engines, and they're just not as good. Basically, Audi took it and went,
"We fixed this.
You're off."
Okay, so we're going to use your engine. They look at it. Oh no! Okay, we make our own.
This isn't going to last out this decade. Okay, and they made the 5.2, which developed into probably one of the best engines, actually.
Yeah,
but there's something. Also, there's something about that 5 litre only being in that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if they'd made the 5 litre forever and they kept making it better, you'd probably go, it's not that interesting.
No, yeah,
but because the 5 litres only in the Gen 1, it's the first Gallardo. It's the first.
Yeah.
I just want a yellow, black leather manual coupe Gallardo,
and if it's convertible, it's got to be blue.
It has to be the baby blue.
It has to be the baby blue. Look, there are laws. We don't make them, but you got to abide by them.
And Midnight Club LA made that.
Yeah,
for me. So I have to do that. So that's my 2.
That's yours. I have to pull my phone out. Basically, I just looked through my my eBay most recently viewed. One thing I do know I want, because it's also my daily. Much like your X5, I bought something quite comfortable and just automatic to roll around it. It's a Honda Beat that revs to 9,000 RPM and doesn't like water. It just kind of slides around on the road, even with those new tyres that I've got on it. So I've been looking for a new daily as well. And I have a weird, insatiable want. I think I talked about this last podcast, John, the SL, which I haven't bought still. So I should probably buy that before that podcast goes out. John's still available.
Okay.
John's always available. But I have a weird want for a Mercedes because neither of us are Mercedes men. I'm a BMW man mostly, but I want to try it. And I've always had a weird want for a C55 AMG. You don't like them.
You're talking about the
early to mid 2000s. Yeah, boxy. It's basically a Mercedes E36. I've worked out that's why I like it. That's why I like it.
Medium-sized saloon car.
Just E36 looking, but Mercedes, but with a 5.5 V8.
That is cool.
I think there's something weird about them that I really like. So I've been looking at those. But they're too expensive. If a really shit one could come up for sale, then I'd love it. Then that'd be perfect.
How many are there? As in money, sorry.
There's one listed for like £6,500, which is quite a lot for them. I think they sell every now and then for maybe like 5, 4.
Are they rare?
They're quite rare. There's
I don't remember the last one I saw.
Yeah, you don't see them around. Lots from Japan. Most of them have been brought over from Japan. There's lots of C32s, which are a V6.
Supercharged?
Yeah, supercharged V6.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a V6.
It doesn't do anything for me. I want it to be V8.
Do you remember we found there is a diesel AMG.
There is a diesel AMG C30.
C30. It's got a 5-cylinder diesel turbo diesel. That is we found that out. I don't know, long time ago, and I was stunned.
I've still never seen one.
I've never seen one. If you own one, own up. Come out. Come outside.
Show us
that car.
See it.
Is it? Surely, I want to see it. I won't care after that. It just looks like a C-Class. But interesting.
Otherwise, also I've bought another Renault F1 jacket. You know, the Renault jacket.
Another one?
Another one. Don't know why.
Winter, I guess.
It's winter, coming up for winter. That's just on my eBay searches. An Audi S4 Gen 2. That's another daily kind of thing I've just been looking at.
So like the
V8,
okay,
but not the thin-lipped one, not the little, the big mouth. How do you? I don't know.
The one with the not the bulbous looking one.
No, not the one that looks like car.mp4.
Yeah,
it's the one that looks like Audi.
Yeah, I know. The one that is the B7.
Yeah.
Same,
so whatever the
RS4,
whatever the second gen RS4 is, the S4 of that, because I don't know why I've got Stockholm syndrome from the Audi S3. I hated life and then went, maybe I should buy an Audi.
Do you know what? What about a bigger engine?
Yeah, in a smaller space. That'd be perfect.
No turbos there.
No turbos, so nothing can go wrong.
Literally nothing goes wrong with those cars.
Yeah. Again, don't know why I want that, but just kind of auto, comfy, winter daily.
Good engine.
And then the last thing I want is a Mark 1 Full Focus RS. I've wanted one that, being from Newbury, I grew up around Saxos, Focuses, that sort of stuff. It's strange that I didn't buy a Fiesta for my first car. I was on that, destined for that path. But Mark 1 Focus RS, I'll bring it in next week, my Auto Trader magazines from
I don't want to see it.
Late 2010s.
Don't want to know.
So when I was maybe 15, 16, a little bit earlier, 13, 14, I was planning my first car. And so I was like, let me start looking for first cars. This is what you do when you're 13, 14. It's only years away. And so I started buying Auto Trader magazines and I keep track of prices. And all I wanted was a Mark 1 Focus RS. I couldn't afford one by any means. I think they were $6,000. I could never afford that. So, but I was like, I've got a couple of years. I could start working on the side on weekends. Maybe I could save up. Maybe one day I could, get to $5,000 or $6,000 and buy one. And then my dad went, yes, great plan. You could probably buy one, but run an insurance quote. And this is when I was still in South Africa, moving back to the UK. So I said, okay, I'll go on to confused.com. Did a quote, £19,500 a year. And that was, I remember this, on 1,000 miles a year. If I put the miles up to like 2,000 or 3,000, I just got no quotes. But one company said, if you do 1,000 miles a year, we'll let you do it for $20,000.
Ironically, that's what you'd need to buy a car now.
And that's the issue. So
that's the most painful.
I have the Auto Tracker magazines, and I'll bring it in, I'll show it, because I have, clearly, childhood me, I've circled one of the listings with a pencil. It's really sad whenever I look at it. I'm like, clearly, childhood me was like, that's the one. And it was a $6,500 Mark 1 RS that had a load of upgrades. I think it was forged engine or something, but $6,000. And I was ridiculous. Like, that's the guy I'm going to have. I'm going to have him. Needless to say, I had a base model of Golf Mark IV as my first car, which is still quite nice.
You would need double that money to get like a crash damaged rusty one right now.
So this week one came up for $9,500, which is very cheap. And that is previously Cat D.
Nice.
Every arch is like gone. It's not even rusted. They're not there anymore.
Nice.
And I think he said something about the engine has an undiagnosed issue.
Sweet. Perfect.
So that's one of those cars that I feel like I may never buy because that's not a $20,000 car to me.
No.
That's like a 10 to 50 max. It's a $10,000 car max.
And then soon, in like 10 years, they're going to be going up for auction at $40,000 and $50,000 because that's what happens to fast forwards in this country.
People,
is that the people that wanted them when they were, it'll be people that are our age, they're going to get in 10, 15 years time and go, oh, do you know what? I'll have one of those. I've always wanted one of those. Or I've kept it in my garage for the last 20 years. and then he's going to sell it for 40 grand
So-
or 50 grand.
All of you ragging Mark 7 Fiesta STs around council estates and Halfords car parks at 2 a.m. Future investment, mate. Someone's going to pay you 100 grand for that one day.
That, do you know what? Speaking of that, small extra point. I don't get that sometimes. I remember, you know, when you see auctions come up and you're going through the list and you see like people have put supercars away. It's annoying, but fair.
Yeah.
I remember seeing there was a Focus ST500, like the Mark II. So that's like, they look a bit horrible. But someone's obviously put that away and thought, you know what, that would be worth money.
Yeah.
I think it sold for like 10 grand.
Yeah.
It would have cost him about 80. Well, probably with
Brand
inflation,
new,
it
yeah.
probably cost 25 grand.
Yeah. Well, it's the one
So
we saw the other day.
He's put it away and it was delivery might. It had
Yeah.
the covers on it. So that's been sat in storage and lost about 15 grand.
Yeah.
Why?
better than a pension.
Just drive your damn car.
Yeah.
Like why would you put a Focus away?
Yeah.
I can somehow see why you might buy £1 million car and hope it might make you an extra £3 or £4 million car. Or like people buying F40s.
The
But
McLaren
even
F1,
then,
yeah.
even then, just drive it.
Yeah.
But what are you actually going to lose?
Yeah.
What, are you going to lose money? You're going to lose it anyway. But that baffles me when I see that.
My point is that if there is one of them, if one of them exists in a museum, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If you have a 924 Porsche, don't worry. Porsche's got one in a
Porsche got
museum.
that, yeah.
Drive it.
Just drive the damn thing, you people.
You goddamn people.
But it's like when you see these, like you see like a low mileage diesel 5 Series.
That's what I was going to say. Remember that 525 we saw the other
was
day?
that was the E60?
An E60 525. I can't remember if it was a DRI, but it was not top level. It was an SE, so no M Sport kit, and it had the only thing it was kind of a weird interior. I think it was like lemon interior, which is an old E36 color, and they were like 2,000 miles from new, and it's listed for £6,500.
Now, obviously, like sometimes these things are like someone has died and it's managed to stay in someone's possession for how long, but
Delivery mile.
Sometimes
is
it's
always,
like I'm going to buy this car, put it away, and it might make me money.
Yeah.
What are you do? Also, I don't know investments. I'm not the one to speak to, but I don't think that's a good one.
No,
I'm not. That's like us going out today. I'm going to go, right, I'm going to buy a 330e for about 45 grand. I'm going to go and stick it in a bunker and come back to it in 20 years.
Yeah.
And then sell it for 5. So someone is probably going to drift it anyway.
Yeah, big stonks.
So yeah, if you're doing that, A, I want to know why you're doing that and if you've ever actually made any money, and B, just bloody drive the thing. Unless it's a 525i.
It is a genuine dream of mine to, if I won the lottery, one of the things I'd do is I'd buy a car like that at auction, a delivery mile car, an Enzo, an F40, and just beat the shit out of it.
Abuse it. Take all the little protective covers off.
No, I wouldn't PPF it. I'd just rag it around. I daily it. I wouldn't. I wouldn't hurt it. I'm not trying to. Yeah. I'm not trying to make a point.
But use it.
But I would use it and abuse it and be like, yeah, the nicest one. It's not anymore. Oh well.
Yeah.
Car.
Yeah. So that's that. Drive your damn cars. I have one more rant, and it's to do with driving.
Here we go.
The other day on the road, I got flipped off by a lorry driver.
Okay.
Now, lorry drivers, I look to them as people who understand the road.
They
often know the rules.
Yeah.
They know that when you overtake, you move over to the left most of the time. Most of the time, they're overtaking at 3 miles an hour. Fine. That's all they've got.
Also, the majority of the time, they're very good.
Yeah, they understand the road.
Yeah.
And so you just have to take into account they're driving a big old thing. They're going to take a bit longer, and they're taking up a lot of space. But I got abused. So motorway, however many lanes, 4 lanes. The right lane was being closed at some point in, a mile, 2 miles. But everyone moves over 37 days before that.
Ridiculous.
So I was like, well, the lane isn't closed yet. The lane closes in a mile or 2.
That's why.
So I'm going to use it until, and then you merge in turn at the end.
Exactly.
Like a sensible human being. But if you do that, particularly if you're driving like a BMW or something, people go, oh, that goddamn guy, that BMW, I'm not letting him in. And this lorry driver, he swerved into the lane. As if to like block it.
That's when I see that.
It wasn't blocked for like a crash. It wasn't anything like that. It was like there were going to be roadworks at some point. It's like merge at this point. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on some technicality, but I'm also not wrong.
No. The cones are there to say this is by the time you're at these cones, you must now go in.
Yeah.
There's nothing there that says you must do it a mile back. Guys, be done by the time you're at the mile back.
That is how the traffic has happened.
Yeah, just go. You go, you let the next person in, then you go, and then the next person goes in.
And the person that because you'll see people that they like push all the way forwards to not let other people in that are being sensible, that are alleviating traffic and not making a 3 mile long queue. But they're also not paying attention to the fact that the lanes next to them, while they're closing up their gap, going, I'm not letting you in, they're also not paying attention to the lanes next to them are either moving or they could move over to there because they're not overtaking. Just, come on. It boils me.
Yeah.
Also, because it was from a lorry driver.
He should, yeah.
I was like, why would you... Hello, mate.
Hello, Taylor.
Hello, Taylor.
How can I help? You can get your cutlery for lunch. Please, after you, sir.
We have very large lunches here.
Yeah, and we have the only communal kitchen. So the TDC kitchen is everyone's kitchen.
And we have the only butter knife. We have the only bread knife.
Yeah, also, my personal butter. So, okay, the sofas that we're sitting on right now was stolen when we brought my MX-5 here. Well, sorry, when you brought my MX-5 here, you nicked my sofas that you found in the garage. We're like, yeah, this will do nicely.
No, you can't take it back.
And my butter knife. Why was that taken? My own butter knife from home. You just went, yeah, we'll take that with.
Well, it's a great knife, though.
It is a great knife. Taylor's walking off with it right now.
And the mayo.
And the
butter. We'll be eating that very, very soon. We have
but
great lunches here, lots of bread and meat and cheese.
It's like a big feast, like a medieval feast, like a big long table with bread just being...
And we do car deals.
I'll give you this spaghetti if you give me that.
Right, once I finish this cheese, I'm going to buy that 5 Series off you. Not Ben's.
Not Ben's. That's a nice little update. Ben's car's broken. Because I listened back to the first podcast where we talk about the fact that it had just arrived and it was a great car. Bad times for Ben.
Yeah.
What happened, Ben? Come on,
Ben. What actually did happen? I can't remember.
Your gearbox is slipping.
Was it clutch E?
Clutch E.
Clutch E has gone.
No, the gearbox was slipping a little bit on the motorway. So I said to the guys over lunch when we were having one of our banquets, I said, "Oh, my needle does this." You're listening, you can't see, but I'm waving my hand backwards or forwards.
It's wavers.
Which is apparently a sign of the torque converter going, which, is tough to see.
It's tough to see.
But torque converter, potentially worth doing, maybe, because it's not a massive, massive job. Anyway, I was like, first thing we'll do was get a gearbox service done. So I had a service done, which apparently can either make things better or it can make things much, much worse.
And on this
occasion, made it much worse. Coming back down from TRS after doing the 335 video.
Yeah.
After everyone at TRS was telling me it was a good car, so which was the best.
Yeah, that was great. There was Ned and Sam from the place across the way where they were looking at it. Oh, it's so clean. I've just a vacuum pump. That's immaculate. That's brand new. I think you got a really good car here. Hours later, we get a message from Ben.
Considering the abuse that I get here for my car, it was nice for a minute to just be told, "Oh, that's actually a really nice car." Anyway, on the way home, I'm going on the motorway. Suddenly, I lose drive. That's weird. Then obviously the car's on cruise control, so it gets confused. Just revs to red line, and I'm like, okay, I'm in the outside lane now. I got the engine, so luckily I was about a quarter mile from the services, so I pulled over, restarted the car, and it was fixed. But then,
so what is the issue?
So then I was like, this is crazy. What's going on? So I went back down home via the gearbox specialist that did my car. I was like, what's going on, boys? They scanned it again, and we're like, yeah, when it did the big poo pants. Apparently, it now realizes that one of the actual clutches in the gearbox is broken.
It's like Call of Duty domination. We're losing clutch E.
Yeah. So
you got 25 more though.
Have I?
Yeah. A B C D.
Oh, maybe. Don't know.
No, I don't
know.
know.
It's car. Anyway, I hate cars.
So anyway, your car's broken.
Car's broken. Need new daily.
Is it Ben? Is it still brown?
Still smells brown as well.
Ooh,
Ned said I said, can you smell? Yeah. Give me a colour that it smells like, and you say brown.
It does smell brown.
But anyway, so
it's
that's
tough to see.
Ben.
So I'm going to drive that car until it goes bang, and then it's another car.
I like Ben. Ben was very, I'm going to start. What do? Shall I sell it? We said, Ben, run it till the wheels fall off.
Joy is, I'm so done. I hate cars.
You're in ruin.
I spend all day looking at cars, whether I'm editing a video, whether I'm filming a video, whether we're talking about it, planning something. It's all cars. And I get home and I've got to deal with cars again.
You know what?
I'm just done.
It sounds a lot like WA.
It is WA.
It is WA. No, I'm not denying it's WA, but I'm so bored of it.
I kind of feel where
you're coming from. To be honest, after the S3, Ben, you and me both, man. Let's get rid of them.
It's possibly the worst hobby.
Yeah.
It's best
hobby.
Name me another hobby that isn't done by rich folk. Well, it is done by rich folk, but that is as expensive.
No, I agree. I think it's a curse.
Shoes.
You
can spend money on shoes, but you don't wear shoes. You're not wearing your shoes to work one day, and then your shoes break down.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then you have to stop at the side of the road, and another pair of shoes comes and collects your shoes.
You don't take the laces out and go, I've broken it.
I just need
I don't know how to put that back
It needs a
together.
laces swap.
I've got. Yeah.
It's misfiring. Clothes.
It's misstepping.
Again, you can spend lots of money on clothes. Games.
Yeah, no, I think cars is it. Let us know. Drop it in the comment. But I see planes and boats. Anything that's vehicular, you're going to have the same issue.
You've got to have a bit more.
You've got to be
entry level to planes and boats is.
Yeah.
Whereas cars, you could get into a car for like
quite easily. You just open the door,
and you could get into a car ownership.
Thank you.
With the driving license and all other legal requirements for a few £100.
Yeah, this is true.
But then, within moments, you could be thousands of pounds down the pan.
Yeah, you can be sad.
And illegal.
Cool.
So that's cars.
That's liquid cars. The next section is something we like to call the forum. And this is for, let's say you're watching and you're more casually interested in cars. You're not as bad as we are. And you have questions on your mind that you're maybe too embarrassed to ask, or you've just never had the answer for. We're going to start taking questions soon from you guys in the comments, but I think Ben has got one for us today.
I've got another one.
So Ben, take it away. What forum question would you like to ask?
Number one, if you have a forum question, please put them in the comments, and then we can
but easy
next
ones.
week do it. No, hard. Make them real difficult.
Yeah, no, there are some comments that are like, what's the volumetric efficiency on my H22 Honda Prelude? Actually, no, that's 1.22. But in most other accounts, we don't know mega specific stuff. Make it, broad. It doesn't have to be.
Someone asked about the RAM effect on each rotation.
Don't know that, mate. I'm an idiot,
bro.
But it could be more cultural as well. It could be about.
I like the philosophical ones.
I like those.
Yeah,
they're
those
nice.
Yeah. Come up with the.
What does it mean to be a BMW
What
person?
is an engine?
Really?
What really is it? Anyway,
so Ben,
here we go.
Question?
Okay, please close your eyes and imagine to today.
I'm going to stare at you.
What's that in my mouth?
Wow. Okay. You two have won the lottery.
Hello, mate.
Fuck yes. Let's go.
Yeah.
Lunch is on us.
Exactly. Okay. So it's Euro Million, so you got a lot of money. You can
How much?
Don't know how much the lottery is. You've won a good
50
well, just
mil?
give us a number.
10 mil?
Call it 50. Around 50.
Because Ben, this is very important for me.
50 mil.
It's 50 mil. Okay.
You can have one car.
Ooh.
What are we having?
Car.
What is the car? Because you two are always like, oh, I love cars. I love all cars. But what is...
No, I don't remember when you... That sounds just like you, mate.
What is the car?
The car... Well, okay. Does it need to do all things? Or is it just a dream world?
It's up to you, mate. But you have one car.
It's not up to me. I need rules.
You have one car.
You
can buy one car.
I can't have another car.
But you also have, depending on how much you spend, like millions of pounds.
So I can buy other cars?
No, you can't buy more cars.
So I could buy your Brown 5 Series and have 49 mil in the bank.
You can have a lot more.
I think can I spend whatever I want afterwards? £1 million? Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like, have I got to live with that car every day?
Let's say it's on top. You just get an unlimited budget to buy a car.
Okay, cool. Right.
It's a McLaren F1 for me. Because I would then, with that money, I'm dailying a McLaren F1.
Yeah, that's true.
And like what I said before, I'm buying, I can't remember which chassis number it is. I think it's 39. I might be wrong. It's the yellow chassis. There is a yellow McLaren F1 chassis that went new to Japan. It has Gordon Murray's signature on the back bumper. Zero. It's delivery miles. Never been used.
So getting it and ruining it.
I'm getting that and driving it every day. I'm using that thing.
An F1 would be tempting to me.
No, that's correct.
Oh.
There isn't a correct answer.
But that's what I'm saying.
That is correct. That is best car.
If the answer's 10 mil,
McLaren F1 the best car for you.
I think McLaren F1 is the best car.
See, Will doesn't care
ever
much
made.
for it.
No, I like McLaren F1.
But the design, you're not that much. You're not that.
The design, I don't think it's that interesting of a design. It's kind of supercar.
Yeah,
better than the GMA.
Yeah, you're not a big
doesn't
fan
have
of GMA.
Doesn't have a desk fan on the back of it. I don't care. What is better than that is either an F1 GT-R or an LM.
See,
because they have a slightly angrier kit.
No, that's the thing. I would, if I'm having an F1, I want the HDK kit, the high downforce kit, which you can have on a normal normal road car.
Yeah, Shmi drove one.
Yes,
very upset.
Very upset.
If anyone's got an F1 LM,
if anyone's got an F1,
just an F1.
Just that I can look at. I'd just do that. I like
to sit. Sit in it.
I've never sat in an F1. I would pay a lot of money.
My YouTube days was one of my first big spots.
I remember you telling me about this.
I think about this regularly. I was in the back of the car with my mum. Not with my mum. My mum was driving.
Yeah, what was he driving? Hold on, wait.
I was in the back of the car I'm always scouting for cars.
Yeah.
I'm looking around for
Head on a
cars.
swivel, as
Normally
they
with my camera on my phone, like ready to go, so I go upload it to YouTube and get abused by people like you watching. And around the roundabout, this was at Maranello in Egham. It's a place I used to go to all the time. It's very old, one of the old, like it's a Ferrari dealer basically. Yeah. But there's like a Ben's lasting it says egg in it.
Eggham. That's
quite good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm coming up to this roundabout in the back of the car, a McLaren F1. At first, I didn't realize. I can't remember how old I would have been. It would have been, I probably was 11.
Right.
So, I mean, an F1 would have been roughly the same age as well at that time. And a blue McLaren F1 came around a roundabout, and then following it was the Lark livery F1 GT-R, and behind that was an M3 CSL, which back then would have been about 3 or 4 years old. And they parked up at a hotel, and I said to my mum, please. Like, even then, like, they were probably not quite as rare. Well, they are, but they're
not as halo.
They were seen more then than they are now. But I said, please, I need to see this. Because they both just parked up at this restaurant and then like went to go in. I was stunned because I don't think I will ever see that again. That was 2 McLaren F1s.
Nobody sees that.
And they drove off down the road together. I have a very, very poor video of that. I've never been so erect in all my life. I was just sweating. And also the blue one is...
was it Flemke's?
It was Flemke, yeah.
Oh, if you don't know...
Blue with black wheels it was at the time.
There is a incredible story. I'm a bit obsessed with McLaren F1s. I know a good amount of stories. But there is a very historic kind of, what do you call it? Urban legend is the way you describe it. Piston heads, if you know, there is a UK forum as well. Forum is actually where it started, but then also you could buy cars on there. And I believe the story goes that someone went onto the forum claiming to be a McLaren F1 owner. So obviously it generated a lot of hype. People think, well, okay, what's it like? And it turned out that person wasn't real. They were making it up. So in lieu of that, I think someone close to Piston Heads or someone on the forum knew someone who did own one and said, can you jump on here? And there is a very, very famous thread, it's hundreds and hundreds of pages long, called Flemke, Is This Your McLaren? Flemke, Is This Your McLaren F1? And he just documents the genuine ownership experience of a McLaren F1, but he's no mortal man. He modified it. He went and got like BBS wheels custom made for it. He took it on the Nürburgring. I think he crashed it twice.
It's a different color now.
It's a little bit darker. It's a Alfa Romeo color.
It was
dark blue.
When I saw it, it was the lighter blue,
almost
colour.
like Laguna Seca, like a very light, bright blue.
But it had standard wheels painted black.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then they went on to BBS's, and then now it's like a dark blue with black wheels from memory, and it's got some like airbrush details on it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Someone just went, I'm driving this thing.
Yeah.
So that, if you want a weekend read or you're bored, go read that thread. It is very good.
There's lots of stuff on Piston Heads, to be fair.
Really good.
Yeah. And lots of abuse.
Lots of people making fun of us as well. But so also, if you're on Piston Heads, you drive a TVR and you're boring.
Yeah.
There you go. I've just undone any hate that comes towards us.
So you are McLaren F1.
Absolutely. If the budget's lower, 10 mil maybe, I can get into a Zonda for that, can't I? Yeah.
I think Pagani is where I'm at. I'm probably at, if it's something not road legal, doesn't matter. I'm having a Huayra R because that is the best noise I have ever heard in person at Goodwood.
Oh. Imagine get a Huayra R.
Go to Lanzante.
Give it to Lanzante. And Lanzante, if you don't know, they're a McLaren F1 servicing. Yeah, I mean, they do sales as well. They do
cool shit.
They are the people you go to with anything mad expensive.
They made a Vulcan Road League. They made a Vulcan Road Legal. And
they specialize in taking some of the McLaren F1 race cars, which are not road legal, and making them road legal. Yeah. So imagine that Huayra R on the road.
Actually, that's my answer. I want a Huayra R. I'm going to Lanzante and making it road legal. If I can't have any of that, I'll have a Murcielago Roadster LP640 manual.
That's the guy.
Because one of those sold for $1 million.
Yeah. Is your Huayra R matte black still, or are you painting that? Are you making him road spec? If he's going to Lanzante, are you making him road spec?
I'm going for, the was it HDK P1 they did? It was in a dark green. I wouldn't have dark green, but I would I'd have that vibe.
Okay, yeah.
That's my vibe.
There's a Huayra towards the beginning of production that was exposed carbon green.
Yeah.
That's nice.
The Pagani's cool.
They know what they're doing.
I went to the Pagani factory last year or this year. A year.
Yeah.
Sometime in the last 2 years. One of the coolest places. Recommend that big time, that museum.
I would love to go.
Sometimes Horatio Pagani's there. Actually, the biggest part of that
Serving
is if
coffees.
you do it, yeah. Just doesn't speak English. Is it Cole Hartley actually talks about that?
Yeah.
He does speak English, but only if you're talking.
Yeah.
You're talking about the bread. If you come up to him and say, "Hello, mate,"
Can I have a
talk about the
photo?
Zonda. No English.
Yeah.
But anyway, you go to Pagani, you can go and do the museum tour. Not the museum tour, the factory tour, which is the actual
that's what I want
factory.
to do.
That is damn cool.
If you work at the Pagani factory, let us know. We'd love to come over.
They ban your phone.
Yeah, that's cool.
They make you put your phone in the locker.
Anywhere that does that, I like.
Yeah.
That's cool. When
I
you're
want
like,
to get in there. I've only got it in my head.
I'm wearing
which is
spy
better.
glasses in there. I'm taking photos going.
I've got a tie with a little camera in it. So yeah, Huayra R, road illegal.
Good
Doesn't
question,
exist,
Ben.
but I'm going to make
I like
it.
that.
Nice one.
Also, the most difficult question to ask any
It
person.
will change.
Especially
Yeah.
you two as well.
Yeah,
It
does-
changes
does
every
change
day.
every-
yeah.
Tomorrow, come in, I'll go, a beetle.
I will actually say it's not possible to answer that. There
No.
isn't. If you have a definitive answer, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Not you're wrong.
You aren't right.
You aren't right.
Yeah.
Because if you had the money, it could change.
I believe if anybody actually imposed that question on me, I'd implode.
Yeah, I'd die.
I'd just go, "Pff."
Yeah.
I'd turn into dust.
Because even if I have a Huayra R road legal, at some point I go, I want a
I
Murcielago.
should have had an F1. What am I
Why
doing?
have I not done that?
Yeah.
Good question. Like that.
Let's crowdfund 50 mil and we can test it out
Yeah. Patreon.
just to answer the question. Cool. That was the forum. Good stuff on that. And then we like to end this podcast with an argument. I know an argument that's good. We had the other day. Classifications of cars.
Nah.
That what?
Okay. I'll tell you my point.
Yeah, so
Say it.
so we had this argument already. This is actually a rehash of a lunch argument that we had. You believe cars, you can't put cars into categories anymore.
Oh no, I don't think we should divide ourselves like that. It's a figment of our imagination made up by the man.
Yeah, big car
Big car.
classification.
Big car
Big-
wants us to argue amongst ourselves so that we hate each other.
But
Because it's not possible. This came from the V8 Vantage.
yeah,
that
Rory
Rory may or may not have bought.
may or may not have bought a V8 Vantage. So there were some comments thinking that you'd bought that. No, it's my friend Will, a different Will, had bought that car.
I wouldn't.
But this is what it comes down to. Rory went, it's a supercar. An Aston Martin V8 Vantage is not a supercar.
No.
I said, it is a Grand Tourer. That's what they're built for.
But it's also a sports car.
And I said, I do agree that it kind of goes into sports car,
That's
but
what I
there's
mean.
no world in which it is a supercar.
But would it have been in 2005?
I still don't
A
believe
nigh
it
on
is.
400 horsepower rear wheel drive thing.
Because you can get it in at that time, but DBS, like there's something above it.
But is a DBS a supercar?
A DBS is a supercar.
A DBS is a Grand Tourer.
No, a DB9 is a Grand Tourer.
A DBS is a better Grand Tourer.
No, but
DBS
it's
is Grand Tourer
It's
Plus.
a worse Grand Tourer. A DBS is a worse Grand Tourer than a DB9
Why?
because it's a DB9 is
No, I
softer.
don't believe it. Jeremy Clarkson said so.
No, but a DB9 is built for softness. It's built for wafting around. A DBS
Yeah.
has got harsher suspension. It's got bigger wheels. It's got lower profile
But-
tires.
That's what Jeremy Clarkson said.
So therefore, it's true.
He said, okay, I haven't driven this. I have no idea.
This is true.
But
This
he
is
did
we're
say that
arguing.
actually, in that case, this is specific now,
Okay.
but he said that the DBS was actually a better Grand Tourer.
Okay. Well,
It's more,
perhaps.
sorry, not better, but as in it's a better as a Grand Tourer. But anyway, still, again, you can have multiple. It's like when you look at your history as a human being and you're like, oh, I'm like 35% Albanian. Okay. I'm 25% sports car.
Sports cars.
Ford. I'm a little bit sports car in there. I could be a hot hatch.
Agreed, but there is an overall class if you simplify it that you go into,
No.
and I think there are lots of people that get stuff wrong.
Fascist. Fascist car. You can't. It's just not. I just don't think you can.
I think you can.
Z3M is a hatchback.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
That like a Z3M.
All right, fine.
I think
But it's not a sports car.
I think it can go. Yeah, I think it's a sports car.
But is it a hot hatch?
That's a very good. Yes, I'm going to say it is.
So what about
'Cause it has a hatchback.
What about a M140i?
That's a hatchback. Yeah, it's a hot hatch.
But it's not a sports car.
No,
So why is a Z3M?
this is a great point because the basis on which it is built is more aimed at sports car thing.
Okay.
All right, you got out of that one.
All right.
Rear
Go
wheel
on.
drive though.
What about it? That doesn't.
But
Hot hatch doesn't have to be. Hot hatch doesn't have to
but
be.
most of them are though, right?
No, Ben.
I don't know.
You're falling into a trap, mate.
I think core. That's again though.
So
Hot hatch has got layers.
So you're telling me
like an onion.
like an onion. You're telling me a Renault A45 Turbo 2 is not hot hatch. That's
No.
rear-wheel drive.
No.
You what?
No, that's not what I said.
What are you
Like
saying?
I'm saying, hot hatches have layers.
Like onions.
Over time, like onions,
Okay.
they have advanced.
Okay.
Hot hatches were front-wheel drive. If you want core hot hatch, if you want pure hot hatch, Renault 5 Turbo 2 rear-wheel drive,
Yeah.
same as the Clear V6, is not the purest essence of hot hatch.
Okay, but Talbot Sunbeam, that's rear-wheel drive. Vauxhall Chevette, that's hot hatch, and that's a rear-wheel drive. There's mans out here who are
Yeah,
rear.
but that's what I mean. You're leaning into my argument now.
What?
You're in my argument.
Why?
You're on my side.
No, I'm against
That-
Ben.
He's in my argument, is he not?
No, I'm saying
completely
I'm
lost track.
against Ben right now.
Yeah, fuck. Well, Ben, what are you talking about?
let's gang up on this guy.
Ben is the man. Ben's trying to divide us.
What's Ben trying to do?
Oh no! After I said it, I realised maybe that's not true. But for if you're
What
like a
else you
hot
got?
hatch enthusiast, like the
But
classics, the
so
staples.
what's an A45 AMG? That's hot hatch. That's
Uh,
four-wheel
No,
drive.
I'm saying I'm going to call those super hatches.
I agree. No, I agree.
That's too
but
much
there,
power.
but there are four-wheel drive hot hatches.
A mega hatch.
It's really big boot.
No, but you can't have 400 horsepower Ford. It's like an Evo.
No, I agree. There is a classification now above hot hatch because
But this is why how can you categorize people, cars, and go, oh yeah, but he's also this.
because it helps compare them. Otherwise, can you compare an A45 to a Zonda?
Yeah. Yeah. You can if you want.
But why
It's
would
free
you?
country.
But why would you?
It's more about price.
Ooh,
Price, I think, comes into it more than
Interesting.
necessarily the body style.
but then is a
Because you
250
would
GTO comparable to an F1?
You would compare, and this is a comparison, like M2 and Cayman. They're very different.
They
You've got
are
a
very
mid-engine 2 or 2+2, whatever, sports car.
Yeah.
And you've got the M2. Is it a sports car?
Yeah, I'd say.
But it's very
yes.
different. It's front engine,
I
it's
was about
rear-wheel
to say it's
drive.
a sports saloon, but it's not really a saloon.
Yeah.
It's a coupe.
But they're quite different in terms of their actual overall thing. But they're different
Agreed.
approaches to the same vibe.
The vibe. That's what I mean. That vibe is a classification. It's what vibe they give off, and the V8 Vantage, not supercar, doesn't
Not a
give a
supercar.
supercar vibe.
But it's a sports car and a Grand Tourer.
Gives
so-
me a sports car Grand Tourer vibe.
Okay, so who is he?
Huh? I'd comfortably put him in sports car.
Yeah.
But this is why I brought this argument up because of where it leads. All roads lead to family. Where's a GT-R? Now, Will, you believe the GT-R is a supercar?
No, I have an argument for the GT-R. And this is another little category to add into this argument. I believe the GT-R is a super car
It's just great. It's just super.
because it is built from the ground. It's not like listen, right? An M4 or an M3 or an M5.
Yeah.
They got snotty little cousins. They got 318Ds and
Yeah,
520Ds, and that's like the base. And obviously, there's not much of that left, but he's still there.
Yeah.
He's still in there somewhere. Somewhere in there, it's 320D, man.
Okay.
It's still a 3 Series. GTR, there's no Qashqai version of it.
Agreed. Yeah.
There's no Micra. It doesn't come from something else. It comes from brand new platform. Engine is hand built. The gearbox is made for, well, it probably is in other things, but it's got a dual clutch gearbox that isn't in anything else.
Yeah.
It's got cool stuff.
Okay.
Obviously, like, you've got like the Qashqai key and all those tiny
Yeah,
bits,
but-
but mostly it is a entirely new thing.
Okay.
Or what it was.
Subaru SVX is all the same.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't have the performance. The GTR is
okay.
quicker than a 911 Turbo.
Okay.
Or was. That's
But
what
so-
I mean. It has all of the. If you take away the fact that it's a Nissan and you put that on paper and you go, that is a 550 horsepower 4-wheel drive, quicker than round the Nürburgring than a 911 Turbo. What are you saying that is?
But then surely you
But
could
what-
now say that about like an X3M.
But they're not quicker around the Nürburgring than something like that. They're quick.
But they are very quick around the ring.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But you're in my argument.
I'm just here to talk, man. We're just
you
talking this out.
set me up because you're saying to me that an X3M can be a supercar.
No,
It's a fast 4x4. It's a super 4x4.
I'm saying
There's
that,
too many categories.
I'm saying that argument doesn't work. That it can't just be on performance because there's too many mans that are similar in performance.
I don't get what you're saying. You're saying what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Sukasa.
in ways.
Me and you,
We're not so
agreeing,
different.
but not agreeing.
Well, I think it's a successful argument. We argued.
No, but we can conclude this.
No.
Ben, mate,
we can agree that we disagree with Ben.
Yeah, Ben's wrong.
Ben's wrong, mate.
Yeah.
That's how. To be fair, that's how most of our arguments end in this room.
Turn to Ben.
Right, I think that's good. I think we've ended on a good argument.
Yeah.
Let us know some of your questions for next week. Drop anything you put in the comments. We'll look at and potentially add into the next podcast. Thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're on Spotify, you can watch this on Spotify, by the way.
And comment
on Spotify. That's crazy.
That's wild.
What world to live in. Thank you very much for listening to the Cars Rule Everything Around Me podcast, aka C.R.E.A.M. As always, get the money. Dollar bills, you'll.
Yep. See you next week.